This is for the historical record, the first queue to get into the Kent Museum of the Moving Image in late July 2017. The really eager and most prominent members of the Magic Lantern Society,
most on time.
and the most on time are here at exactly 1:30, and we're now about to disturb David and Joss and get into the place.
Posterity calls.
Actually, these people were here earlier.
Like a long list with all, you know, whether it was grade or whatever was the corporate.
Yeah. We were waiting outside because I misled everyone. Hello, people.
Hello, people.
I thought that we had to wait outside. Hiya. Good to see you. I'm all sandwiched out, thank you.
Everybody is going upstairs.
Okay. Everybody goes upstairs. I'm staying down here.
I had no idea that your dad was Terry.
Oh, yes.
Very interesting. Yes.
Okay, darling, you've got the door. Oh, Roger's got the door. Brilliant. Okay.
No.
Yes, I've seen this show before.
Mr. Turner, E.G. Turner, if I remember rightly.
Intermediate size, isn't it?
When cameras were cameras.
Something to get hold of it.
I've looked at the same camera as that's half the size. Right? Just a little bit.
Very nice.
That's a Scopticon. That's for doing the fading.
Oh,
So
right.
it fades. And the points. Oh, there. So the two projectors.
Right.
Side by
Yeah,
side.
yeah. Oh, okay. I love the chimneys.
Really gorgeous train.
Wonderful, isn't it, that thing?
So much brass to polish.
Lots of brass.
Oh, I'm going to reflect in
You
the
used
mirror.
to take them on the train and the cart and the
Yeah.
everything on the backs.
Still films in it.
Oh, the previous convention.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Because they've had to change all the music to it because of for copyright.
I think what's wonderful to me is the different typefaces, the different materials, the photographs and the prints and the stereo cars. And what really got me fascinated in research materials and doing historical research was that this doesn't look like a printed book.
Okay.
And the first time that I ever worked in archives and I saw that the past is not a printed book, but there's a whole range of objects that you have to come to terms with and you have to understand. And you have to understand them in their context and in our context. It's just, that's why I do it and why I love it. And it's what a display like this does for me.
When did you write that? That was very good.
I know it is, yes, but I mean, it's in the spirit, isn't it?
Yes, well,
I've never seen the other.
Monia Dennis Westgate handled their publicity as well,
Yes,
so it's
yes.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
So we'd included a few group three where they were the same artists, basically. And there were some really interesting things like the idea that Frida, if you know the film Frida,
Yes.
it was actually shown in France, which is surprising immediately after the war, like it is. But they have a totally different way of looking at it in terms of the poster than they do in the British one. Yeah.
Because they were closer to the poster.
Yes, it's that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful film.
But it's a title I know.
Yeah, it's a kind of one-off film. It's Terence Young's first film as a director. But it is the most baroque film.
But actually, I'm all surprised because we've been looking at Basil Dean films.
Yes.
And really, some of them are not as bad as one led to believe reading history books, you know.
Yeah.
But we've sort of grouped these both by artists,
Yeah.
but also they're in parallel. Then you get films which Googie Withers appeared in, films which were made in Kent, which sort of tried to make, you know, I mean, when all the texts, well, there are some texts in there, but, and then we were looking at the artists and the books by the artists. We're trying to go that way. We're trying to be horizontal if we can, to spread out from with a starting point where you look at it in its cultural context.
So if you show films, you show them at the theatre?
Well, there's a cinema being, we hoped, going to be. So, I know this, we're going to say this is going back to Camden Passage days. There is a cinema here, 1920 cinema, which they're trying to save.
What's the history of the theatre?
The theatre was given to the town by Lord Astor. Lord Astor was MP for Deal, and so it's a local facility.
So it was built as a theatre?
Yes.
Oh, no, I thought it might have been a chapel.
Yes. Oh, no, it was built as a theatre, and the car park was a skating rink next door. You see, and the part of there was no Stanhope Road in those days, because this was a brewery. The whole of this area was a huge brewery.
I've been looking at this cabinet as well. Nicely displayed lantern slides. The old 3 1/4 slide format. A few thoughts?
Well, it's a really wonderful display. It makes great use of a bit of space that would just be wasted.
Sort of window or doorway.
And I really like the spread of slides and images we've got here. Going from a fairy story, looks like Cinderella at the top, through scenic views, it's the Castle of Chillon on Lake Geneva. Dissolving view, it's an unusual one because it's a photograph. There's 2 copies of the same photo, tinted for night and day. This is a very familiar but important set, Gabriel Grubb, after Charles Dickens. All kinds of lovely stuff here.
And a good way to display the slides where they don't take up too much room.
Very much so, yes.
Saying,
The problem with slides is there are tens of thousands of them. And there's only so much space and so much time to look at them. But that's a really nice display. It would be lovely to see this changing, maybe if you came back on a different week, things had moved up by a row and there was another row of slides or something. So then you start getting a sense of the real variety of this stuff, which is enormous. There's no subject that's not covered by a lantern slide of any sort. And these ones lower down are really lovely. The painted ones in wooden frames. Building catches fire with inevitable consequences. Really lovely.
Thanks for that.